Royal Kludge is joining the budget overkill spec keyboard market with their RKC61. This is a 60% magnetic Hall effect keyboard that connects via wired so as to accommodate its 8K polling rate. I personally do not use 60% keyboards because of the absence of arrow keys. However, this keyboard has alternate functions for the Alt key, menu, right control, and question mark key that also acts as arrow keys with the function key held down. Something to get used to, but also something I believe would not be too bothering. You get more mouse space anyways on the upside. Scan rate is measured to be at 48K, which is really difficult for me to measure on my end. Anyways, you might be wondering why my microphone might have changed. It's because right now I am using my iPhone. However, upon using this in-game, I did not feel any delay and my keystrokes felt responsive, just as I expected. Now to be honest, I don't feel the difference between 1K polling rate and 8K polling rate. It's really hard to tell. To give you a bit more context, polling rate is how many times your PC detects the keyboard's keystrokes, while scan rate is how often the keyboard reads your keystrokes. Anyhow, this has NKRO or all key anti-ghosting, so you can rest assured there will be no interferences even if you press the buttons with 10 fingers and 10 toes. Royal Kludge also advertises its latency to be around 0.125 milliseconds. I don't think it's jaw-dropping. It's basically the standard for ultra-fast keyboards in the market. The RKC61 comes with switches that has 40 grams of required actuation force. They aren't branded, but they look very much similar to Gateron Jades. Later, we'll go over sound tests and a little bit more of my opinion on these switches. Royal Kludge does not advertise that their PCB is compatible with any magnetic switch. So although it's a hot swap magnetic PCB, let's just assume that only the same switches equipped here are compatible. Now, every magnetic keyboard greatly depends on software performance, so let's go over that in the next segment. This has a web software, so no need to download anything. You get configurations to customize by the left-hand side, and the first tab here is for RGB settings. Next, you get a tab for actuation point customization. There are 4 sub-tabs for actuation points: rapid trigger, advanced settings, and calibration. The next tab is for key binding with the option to bind mouse functions. The next tab is for advanced keys or advanced magnetic functions, which include SOCD. But beware, as you can get banned in online games for using this. Next tab is for macro recording that does not detect mouse clicks. And the last tab is for firmware updates and resetting the keyboard. Pretty straightforward. Let's move on. Inside the box, you get the keyboard, cable, key puller combo, extra magnetic switches, and documentation. Straightforward, and given its price, I was not expecting this to have a PET dust cover, so I'm not disappointed. I personally love PET dust covers because it helps protect my keyboards from dust buildup. The cable is made of high-quality rubber-coated USB-C to USB-A, and that was good. Now onto the keyboard. It's really straightforward, and nothing I see is out of the ordinary for budget 60% plastic magnetic keyboards. Looking underneath, you do not get any kick-up feet for angle adjustments. That was a bummer. You get rubber anti-slip pads so it doesn't move around your desk. Then, looking closely underneath, you will find screws that hold down the positioning plate and PCB onto the bottom case. The USB-C input is at the top side, panned to the left. Again, pretty much like most 60% magnetic keyboards out there. Overall, I think the build is just right for its price. I have no complaints about it other than the lack of kick-up feet. Oh, and by the way, I tapped onto the body of the keyboard and it sounds really good with very little hollowness and echoey sounds from within. If I had to guess, this is fully dampened within, though I am not tearing this down to confirm, as I am basing this only from the sound that I hear when tapping underneath. The keycaps we have here are double shot shine through keycaps in OEM profile. The keycaps feel really smooth, almost like having a rubbery surface. Some keycaps, especially the cheap ones, have a shiny, rough texture, but not this one. About its OEM profile, I think it's just fine. However, I would have preferred something like a cherry profile because of its keycap height being shorter than OEM. This makes typing more comfortable for me, but this is subjective. Now onto the stabilizers. They're fairly tightly placed on the aluminum positioning plate, which was a good thing. There's very minimal rattling at a level which I think isn't bothering, so reapplying lubrication is not necessary, I think. Onto the switches. There's no branding on the top housing, so I'm not really sure where Royal Kludge got this. But in terms of actuation force, the switches seem consistent throughout the board. Also, with its light 40-gram springs, they feel really easy on the fingers when gaming, light enough to not cause fatigue, and support faster response time. The switches have a palm stem and a palm bottom case, making it sound thocky by nature. But here's a quick sound test for you guys. The RKC61 is offered in only one colorway as of now, and I'm not sure if more colorways will be added in the future. Anyhow, I like the combination of black and lime green. It's also worth noting that the legends are positioned in the middle of the keycaps, which is something I wish all companies did. I don't think it's a difficult thing to do, and it looks way more aesthetic having the legends in the middle. Then printed by the sides of the keycaps are the alternate functions for some keys. They're subtle and low key, so they aren't bothering to me. With the keycaps being double shot shine through, top printed design, it was a relief that Royal Kludge went with north facing LEDs. It makes the legends shine brighter and pop a lot better. By the right side of the front of the keyboard, you will get Royal Kludge's branding, which again to me isn't bothering. That's pretty much it for aesthetics. I don't think I missed anything here, but if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. This is Daniel with the Biboyharanero team signing out, and I'll see you guys again next time. Don't forget to not subscribe.